Thank you for downloading this in-ear entertainment podcast. You're listening to Shakespeare's Sonnets. Sonnet number 7. Lo, in the orient, when the gracious light lifts up his burning head, each under eye doth homage to his new appeared sight, serving with looks his sacred majesty. And having climbed the steep up heavenly hill, resembled strong youth in his middle age, yet mortal looks adore his beauty still, attending on his golden pilgrimage. But when from highmost pitch with weary car, like feeble age, he relieveth from the day, the eyes for duteous now converted are from his low tract and look another way. So thou, thyself, outgoing in thy noon, unlooked on diest, unless thou get a son. Wow. That was sonnet number 7 out of Shakespeare's sonnets. I'm Mark Chatterley.
I am Thierry Heles. That's quite a tricky one to get through.
There's a lot of words in there that we don't tend to use. I mean, homage, however you want to say that, is still in use. Pilgrimage. But then you start getting down to duteous and Unlook'd, diest.
Even he reeleth from the day.
Yeah,
I can see myself stumbling over that line quite hard.
So I apologise to if any Shakespeare scholars are reading this and are pulling their hair out at the way I'm pronouncing these words. I
think they probably wouldn't have made it to 7. If there are any Shakespeare scholars, they probably stopped halfway through the introduction and just went, "This is not worth it.
This isn't for me." No. So yes, this is sonnet 7. That we're still in the procreation sonnets about asking, or Shakespeare writing to the young lover, going, basically, you're so beautiful, go have sex and have a child. Not just have sex, go have a child is the outcome. And this one we seem to be, there's the reference to nature, but this time it's the sort of the skies and the heavens are being brought in. So the gracious light rising in the orient, being sun rising in the east, lifts up his burning head. So it's dawn. It's the dawn sun, which is beautiful and breathes life into the world, I guess.
Well, we have. I would even say we have the entire run of the sun.
Okay.
I mean, the gracious light, and then it goes on. Thyself outgoing in thy noon, unlooked on diest, unless thou get the sun. So he makes the entire run of the sun as it goes from. Where's the line?
Like feeble age.
More because he goes through midday when mortal looks adore his beauty still, from the highmost pitch, and then and then like feeble age, and then from his low tract. So he does the entire run of the sun.
And the idea that in the morning everyone loves the sun because it brings in a new day. Even at noon in middle age, we may ignore the sun a bit, but it's still good. It's there. But after that point, when it's on its downcline, you're almost like feeble age. He reeleth from the day. So it's coming to an end, and you know it's inevitable.
Well, midday sun was quite important. I mean, 12 o'clock, middle of the day, and then there isn't really much coming after that. I mean, you would go back to work on the field for a bit after you maybe had a bit of lunch.
Yeah,
but there's all the hope that comes with the morning sun is pretty much. There's nothing more to come, and they didn't have electricity. There was nothing. Once the sun set, there was nothing to do. There was just
candles.
They could sit there with a candle, but there was nothing. I mean, life stopped essentially.
Yeah, and candles, I imagine, would have been, well, good quality candles would have been expensive. Poor quality candles, which stank and released fumes and spit, would have been ubiquitous. But you wouldn't really want to light them unless you had to.
Well, they had quite a few, fires that got started by cheap candles that fell over. And obviously not in this poem, but, I mean,
in general.
People who couldn't afford a nice candle holder, and, yeah. I mean, it's very dangerous to have fire, because they had it by the bedside as well,
and then the houses would have been wooden,
mostly wood, yeah, wood and hay, and yeah. So
yeah, fire was a dangerous thing to have inside. Yes, so I'm wondering. I did a tiny bit of research on this one. I read the Wikipedia page.
That counts. I'm pretty sure most students get to a university that way.
Oh, Wikipedia really wasn't about that much when I was in university. It's such a shame.
Oh, you missed out. Well,
a bit. But there was an argument that it's talking about the heavens and it's talking about Helios and Apollo, and I don't really see that here. I don't see reference to ancient gods in this poem. I mean, some of the language, there's majesty and beauty and pilgrimage. It could be taken to be religious, but if that's there, I don't think it's overt in any particular way.
I mean, I didn't read the Wikipedia page, and I didn't come across any references to Helios. And that's certainly not an impression that I got from reading this.
Yeah, so Wikipedia is wrong. It says... the poem draws on classical imagery common to the art of the period in which Helios or Apollo crossed the sky in his chariot, an emblem of passing time. I don't...
It doesn't really make... I mean,
other than it talking about the sun, I don't see that link at all.
I mean, as you say, it does have his golden pilgrimage. You could... I mean... And having climbed the steep up heavenly hill. So you could make a case that there is some religious connotations to it, or mythological connotations, but he doesn't. It's not like he talks about Apollo or Helios flat out. He doesn't really.
Yes.
No sun god that appears.
I agree. The other thing I found very interesting about this sonnet, it's the first time the gender of the child has been mentioned. So in the final couplet, so thou diest outgoing in thy noon, look'd on diest unless thou get a son, and it's very. I mean, you could argue that was a compromise to get the rhyme in there, but I tend to think Shakespeare, if he wanted, could have found something to rhyme with child or kid, or the many other words he could use, and it's very purposely chose son. So it's the first time that we're now at Sonnet 7 where it's saying you should have male children.
I guess, as we said before, sons were quite important. Up until this point, anyone who would have read the sonnet in Shakespeare, or even sonnet to Shakespeare himself, it was probably implicitly clear that he was talking about the son all the time. You see,
yeah,
you wouldn't wish on your friend to have a girl. That's not because you would know the kind of you would know that he would have to give away, I don't know, a cow or a pig or something with it, so it would cost him. He wouldn't gain anything from it.
Yes, that makes sense. So it would have been assumed that son it had been a male all the way through.
Yeah.
In the sense that would it have been in the sense that he wouldn't have been fulfilling this go out and have a child prophecy or need if it was a daughter, that it would still remain unfinished then.
I'm not sure. I mean, he doesn't explicitly say that. Maybe because he doesn't refer to it. I wouldn't go as far as Shakespeare. I don't know what he thought, obviously, but I wouldn't go as far as him trying to explicitly wish that it wouldn't be a daughter. It's more the fact it should be a son. It's not it shouldn't be a daughter.
But I wish upon you many happy fat sons.
Basically, have very small obese children
and enjoy their frolicking while they till the field, and you enjoy the end of your life at 40.
Yeah.
It's painting a rosy picture of life back then.
Well, it's painting the picture that they had of life at the time. Yeah. I mean,
which is
if you wrote the poem today, it would be, I don't know, 70 or 80.
Yes. So. Yeah, and you're quite beautiful, but don't bother having a kid yet because you'll mess up your career.
Basically, yeah.
It'd be a completely different set.
you could look on that. I don't know. Maybe the poems that we write now, people in, if there are still humans in 500 years, who knows? They might look back and just think that was a failure. Or didn't they not just have children out of love when they were